Hello, we are Hannah,
Echo,
and Crystal,
and this is a news, culture, and current events podcast from the perspective of three YouTubers. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Hannah.
Yeah, what are you salty about today? I'm really interested.
Well, today, isn't it your turn to say what we're salty
I just
about
felt
today?
like asking you, so I feel like you should describe it.
This is a lot of pressure, but okay, today we're salty about prank channels and over-the-top YouTube content for views.
That was so good. See, that's why I chose you. I knew you could handle it. I don't know why I felt like switching up the format all of a sudden.
You know what?
Here.
It's cool. Keeping it spicy. Keeping it salty.
Yeah. Oh, so salty. Oh, man, it's so tasty. All right. So, yeah, we're going to talk about prank channels today, which are the worst. I think we can all agree.
Yes.
And recently...
I think they're one of the worst.
I guess that's true. They are...
there are some other worst.
There's high standards
as well.
of worst
They're
lately.
Oh, my God. It's really bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, there's this lovely, lovely person whose name is Arya Mosallah, and I looked up how to pronounce his name. So if I got it wrong, it just is because I'm dumb, not because I don't care. Do one of you want to describe what he did, or you want me to go for it? Because I feel like
You
I'm
go
rambling.
for it.
Alrighty.
I feel like you're gonna
do this
more
justice.
research on this.
I researched into this quite a bit because the more I kept digging, the more I found. Oh my God, this kid. He's 22, so he's not a kid anymore. He's an adult. He's a grown-ass man. That's what he is.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what that is.
That's what that is. So he started throwing water at people in London. If you aren't aware, Britain has one of the world's highest rates of corrosive substance attacks. It's an epidemic there. It's a real big deal in London.
Yeah, it's terrifying too. Because in London, you can't really carry any kind of weapons. Like, you're not even allowed to carry knives or things. But the restrictions are different for acid. It's not considered a weapon.
What?
And so there's a lot of legal action that's trying to be taken to classify acid as a weapon because of all of these things. At least this is my understanding of it, and from, like, what I've heard from friends. And a lot of it, this could also be wrong, but I've heard that a lot of the attacks are mostly on, like, Muslim women.
Ooh.
And
Yikes. I didn't see that part, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's awful. It's been happening a lot recently, and it should absolutely be classified as a weapon. But also, I always just it's so weird living in America that they have to deal with acid attacks when we just have AK-47s walking the streets.
yeah,
it is kind of funny. Like, as Americans, we're like, those poor people. That must be horrifying. My neighbor has 3 AK-47s. This is fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're like, oh God, acid. Oh no. But
Oh no.
we have
meanwhile,
we
we're
have
just,
other
like, a
problems.
country with so many guns.
Oh,
And
that's so true.
Elon Musk's flamethrowers are going to be hitting the streets
Oh my God,
in a
no,
couple
I know.
months.
We have flamethrowers now?
It's the not a flamethrower.
Oh, you mean not a flamethrower? Yeah.
It's the boring company, not a flamethrower, because he can't ship them out.
Or
if
a
they're called
temperature shifting
flamethrowers.
device or something. I think
Oh
that's
my
what
God.
he wanted to
Yeah,
call it.
amazing.
they've renamed
So-
it because of the legal problems with shipping a flamethrower.
I give YouTubers a year max of having one of those in their possession before something goes awry.
Oh,
And
less
we have
than
another
a year.
apocalypse.
Less than a year. It's going to be awful. Someone is
Oh
going to
my
get burned
God.
alive. I'm calling it right
God.
now.
Oh, I hope not. Oh my Lord.
Next prank,
stuff
shooting
anyway.
people with
Someone's gonna get hurt.
flamethrowers. Hilarious prank.
Hilarious
Oh my
prank.
God.
Oh my God. Well,
So
anyway, this guy did that.
Yes, this guy did that. So, okay,
Yep.
the people that are calling it that he was faking acid attacks, he wasn't. He was just throwing water on people. Absolutely awful, but he wasn't shouting acid or anything. I just want to make that clear before we get into the other awful things he's done. So
my gosh.
this is the thing that I found most interesting. He's done this before. He did this before
That-
7 months ago. It has 8
With the water.
million views. Yeah, with the water. He's thrown water on people before. 8 million views. The like to dislike ratio was 200,000 to 30,000.
What?
A pretty solid like to dislike ratio, I've got to say.
It's on a bad side, but for a prank channel, I would say
I think
it's
that's
fairly
But yeah, for one of our
positive.
videos, I'd be like, oh my God, they hate me. But
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, they hate me. Well, our audience is fantastic.
They are. They're
so
very
we
cute.
have
Yeah,
high
our
standards.
audiences are.
I
great.
rarely get that many dislikes on a video. If I do, I'm like, oh, I did something wrong.
Like, what did I do? I'm so sorry.
It's always
But for
because
prank
I
channels.
trash talked somebody. They're like, no, I hate you
Yeah,
now.
same.
So anyways, that's a decent like to dislike ratio for his community. And so I just, like, I don't know. It's so clear that there's a bubble. And I just think that's such an interesting part of this. That he was doing this for 3 years. Videos like this and worse than this. For 3 years. He claims he's never been demonetized once before.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have like little like pre-talks, like, okay guys, what are we talking about this week? And Hannah told me that, and I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
You were like, I gotta save it. I'll save the anger.
I gotta save it. I'm so mad. Okay, so this very morning, this very day, my dears, I was like, I'm so upset. Okay, so
I know about this. It's like
this morning, I upload my first video since November, right? I, for those of you who do not know, do like vloggy, fandom-y animation.
And they're very
things.
awesome.
And
they're awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am family friendly. I've tried for a long time to be family friendly, as I have talked about on this podcast before. This video was no different, and I did not have to cut jokes because they were naturally like not offensive jokes. And I had it uploaded since yesterday afternoon on private, and it got approved for monetization. So there's a little green, suitable for advertisers, little thing, right? And so I hit publish today. I navigate away for like a moment to go like on my phone, and I look back, and I'm not kidding you, less than 2 minutes later, it was demonetized.
That's insane. That is so crazy.
Which is so ridiculous because you have the most family-friendly content ever.
Out of, like, way better than me, for sure.
I haven't even looked at it. What do you think? Do you have any guesses as to why it tripped the system?
Absolutely no idea. I mean, sometimes I can, like, pinpoint, like, oh, I said this word or whatever. Like, all I talked about was the fact that, like, I don't care about, the algorithm anymore, and I'm going to make stuff that makes me happy. I didn't even use the word depression.
That's what it was.
I avoided use of the word depression because I knew I was going to get demonetized if I said depression, so I said sad. Okay? And
this
and
sounds
I
like the
still
algorithm
got demonetized.
Upset.
Yep.
Like the algorithm has just become sentient. It was like, you're trash talking me.
I know.
They're like, you cannot talk about
the algorithm's feelings, and it demonetized me. So I obviously was livid. And I'm a nice person. I'm non-confrontational. I don't talk trash to people on Twitter, even if they're mean to me, because it's pointless. Like, that's just unnecessary negativity in a world that needs more positivity, my man. So I ignore it. But today I was like, no, not this day. No more. So I went on Twitter and I did my thing, and I was just like, guys, my dudes, come on. And I went on a little rant, like, this isn't cool, this isn't okay, I try really hard, blah, blah, blah. I should not have to ask my friends to retweet me to get anything done. Because in the past, as I've mentioned again on this podcast, this has happened to me more than once, twice, 3 times. It's been like 7, 8 times where if I don't ask my friends to please help me, I get ignored. I actually still have a video that's been demonetized and under review. Not even denied review, like under review for 4 months.
Whoa!
And I never said anything about it. Okay, so it just, and then I have people telling me that it's not about size and blah, 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 and I'm like, just shut up.
It
just
absolutely is.
Shut up. Like,
no,
do not bring it there.
So is.
Like, like, don't tell me, like, just
Or
don't
like,
tell me about my experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so to hear that my family-friendly, like, person who says heckin' instead of fuck on purpose, ass, okay, gets demonetized in less than 120 seconds. And this guy, he's never been demonetized. What?
Yep.
Just, I'm sorry.
It
hurts me physically.
From, like, Google and YouTube and the algorithm. It's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it's working.
No.
Oh my god.
No. And also, just an aside, just for people who are wondering how that happened, it's still demonetized. I had Echo retweet it for me. I spoke to Team YouTube, who actually tweeted me back for the first time of all of the 10 times this has ever happened. And they were like, have you tried putting it on private first? And I was like, yes, it's been on private for over a day. What's good? And they're like, well, it's supposed to automatically check it, and then you can review it. And I'm like, yes, that happened. It was green, and then I published it, and then it was yellow. What's good? And they were like, well, we appreciate your feedback. I'm like, okay. Well, let me not be super negative and nasty, because I started to feel bad. Like, as much as I'm angry, I start feeling really bad. So I was like, hey.
Yeah, because it's probably
thanks
some,
for
like,
talking
unpaid
to me.
intern on the
Yeah,
other
that's
end.
what I was thinking.
I've been customer service before, and I know that feels. So I'm like, hey, I appreciate that you're speaking to me and that you're trying. I notice. Also, though, fuck.
Oh, dude, that's awful. I know exactly how frustrating it is to be demonetized over and over. Although recently, I've gotten out of that little
Really
delightful cove. Yeah, I don't know. Again, nothing changed. So there's hope for you yet. I guess that's all I'm saying. Like, I feel like they just sometimes have people on a list. I don't know how it works.
How did I get on this list?
I don't know.
I don't know if they have some weird whitelist or something.
I don't know.
They've got it. Okay, so this guy, he wasn't that big. He had, which I think, this is fun, he had 666,000 followers, which I think is great, because 666, the devil and everything.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. So he was clearly in YouTube's radar. Also, 8 million views on a video, like, they knew about that too.
Is he verified?
His channel's deleted now, so I cannot go check.
Oh, damn.
That was what I was going to save till the end, but spoilers, his channel has been deleted now.
Well, normally, a channel over 100K can get verified,
I'm sure
but also
he
we
was.
have some really big guys who aren't, so I don't know.
That is true. Sometimes they aren't.
We also have smaller people who are also verified.
Yeah.
They usually have some connections or something like that.
YouTube has their hands in people's business once they hit a certain size,
Oh, for sure.
i.e., so they should have known about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he had to have had a partner manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing this for 3 years, so I would think at some point somebody reached out to him. He didn't seem super, like, I don't know. I guess I don't know his life, so I just making
You
assumptions.
don't know him?
Yeah,
You don't know his life?
I don't know him. Oh, okay. I read a tweet from a man. I'm going to read it right now. I lost an eye to an acid attack. This is horrendous. If this person was brandishing a toy gun to joke terrorize people, the police would have been called in to manage the situation, and this is no different. I thought that was an interesting point, because it's a little different than a toy gun, I think. Although it's awful that this man lost an eye to an acid attack, and obviously acid, that's fucking terrifying. That's like a whole new level of terrifying.
Yeah. That's like, because it goes beyond the point of, okay, for me, this could just be my personal opinion. I feel like the only thing worse than death is torture. And in my eyes, that's a form of torture, because it's ruining the rest of your living existence, which is, like, it ruins, like, your skin, your face, I just can't imagine, like, that kind of thing. Like, I know that, like, at a certain point you would come to accept it and be able to, like, live a happy life again, but that would be such a journey that someone else would force you to go on.
I can't imagine.
It's so messed up.
It would be awful. And he did throw water fairly aggressively at people's faces. It is, like, he did it in a way where I could totally see, like, if that's happened to me, I'd be like, that's fucking acid. And I'd be, like, scared shitless for a second.
I would panic.
Yes. Well, because, you would. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But is it the same as a gun?
I mean, for us in America, no. But, I mean, I haven't lived in London, and it's not in my news cycle as regularly as it would be there. So I'd assume if it is, then it could be.
It's true.
I feel like it could be a cultural, like a rough cultural equivalent. I don't necessarily think that would have the same effect here in America, because, once again, we have, like, tons of guns. But yeah, even if okay, do you remember? I'm sure you remember Sam Pepper.
Yup,
everybody remembers. Sam
I wrote
Pepper.
him down in my notes.
I think. Oh yes, Nathan Zed made a point about him during, like, all of the controversy of stuff, and he was like, if you take away the camera, just analyze the situation without the camera, and it's just a dude harassing people.
Yes,
and
it absolutely is.
That's literally what it is. It's just some dude harassing people.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, assault style prank video thing that's been going on YouTube, it needs to stop, and I really do think YouTube needs to crack down on this, and I think this is the beginning, or I hope it's the beginning at least, because they straight up terminated his channel That's it.
Well, good.
Yes, I think that's good too. I was going to ask you guys what you thought about that.
I think it's an appropriate punishment.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because this is literally assault. Like, it's legitimately assault.
See, even if you have some reservations about this video being bad enough, he's done way worse things, including bomb threat pranks. Like, he'll throw bombs.
That's never okay. I think was it the same guy or was it a different guy? Because I saw one, but I didn't know if it was
That
him.
was a different, I think the one you're talking about was different. He's done something exactly like that, though. I think I know what you're talking about. Like, where a guy would, like, leave a bag and then run away or something like that.
Yeah. Like, terrifying stuff. And it would drive me crazy, too, because I have, like, this one friend who's not the brightest person that I've ever met. But she brought me this video, and she was like, whoa, look at this video, it's so funny. Yikes. He's, like, scaring the shit out of these people by making them think they're about to die. And I'm just like,
God,
that's
funny.
Not funny at all.
Hilarious.
It's not funny at all.
Racist and awful, and what the heck. And I was just kind of like, couldn't say anything, because it's like, it just made me so sad too, because I looked at the view count, because that's naturally YouTuber habits. I looked at the view count and all of the metadata and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, this video makes me so sad, just because of humanity. It makes me lose faith in humanity.
Just the fact that so many people, like, the like to dislike ratio is often okay, like, it's positive, and you just, like, what could be going through 20,000, not even 20,000, 200,000 people's brains to be like, this is fine. Like, yikes, yikes. Oh no.
I have no idea.
It's not okay, though. It's really not. Okay. The only thing that I could see, like, redeeming him is that if he comes out and says it was all fake. But he did not do that.
See, he said it was real.
This is one of those things that drives me crazy, because this is another thing that Nathan said pointed out. When you have, like, paid reactors for your pranks, that's not a prank, that's a skit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you should be labeling it as a skit. I feel like there needs to be some kind of disclosure in this.
Specifically because their audience is often so young. You need to say it's a skit, because they're going to take that seriously, and it's going to encourage bad behavior through thousands,
it's like the kid who died trying to prank his mom.
Oh, wait, no! What?
No?
The fake kid. Have you guys never heard of this? The fake kid hanging prank.
Ooh, actually, I did.
Oh my God,
I did hear about this.
There was a prank going around YouTube, a couple people, where they pretended to hang themselves, and then their family would come in and freak out, and then they'd be, I'm alive. And then this kid tried to imitate the prank, didn't do it right, fell off the table, and hung himself, and died. In the hospital a few hours later.
Oh,
yeah. No. He was the first kid to have died attempting YouTube.
Do you know what year that was?
This was like
not long ago.
Oh no!
Not super long ago. Like within the last 2 years for sure.
Yeah.
Like 2016 at the earliest. It was definitely after 2015.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this was fairly recent. Just in terms of like the broad scheme of YouTube.
Holy shit, dude.
It's so sad. Even in Arizona, I was passing by the news, and apparently there's been 11 cases of Tide Pod poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I heard about that.
In like the Phoenix metropolitan area. It's just stupid things that YouTube are causing. I mean, like, people are being put in danger, and it's really frustrating.
They still haven't reported how many people have died yet, but I'm sure at least a couple have died from the Tide Pod challenge.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up, like, I guess, as much as this is a bad thing, they keep thriving. And also, why do they exist in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is the culture of YouTube a place where sensationalization and, like, harassment and extremities, like Logan Paul suicide, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just another example of an extremity to get views that's well responded to.
Yeah. It's just...
And it encourages other people to do it.
It's the entertainment business, dude. It's always been weirdly violent and awful. Like, fucking Jackass from years ago. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
But they were doing it to themselves.
Hurt yourself for money.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Very much different.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do dumb stuff, like, do it to yourself.
It's true.
Like,
I like Jackass, by the way.
And they always disclaimer, don't ever do this yourself at the beginning of every single episode. I liked Jackass too. It was a good show. But, I mean, they did dumb, reckless things, but they were careful about it. They did it to themselves. Everybody they had involved had signed consent forms. They made it very public that this was, put together professionally. They had people, like,
that's the key
ambulances
difference.
Waiting.
Professional. This isn't professional.
Yeah, and no, it's not.
Okay. I have a little bit of a counterpoint to that. I was talking to Talia about this, because did you see the statement that was released by Tide Pod?
No. Oh, don't do
by
that?
Tide?
They said don't do that, right?
But they got a celebrity. They got, like, a football player or something, I don't know, some famous person.
I saw that.
To stand in front of a laundry machine and be like, don't eat Tide Pods. They're bad, like, it's poison, don't do that, they're for laundry, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, all they're really doing is drawing attention to the situation and the fact that it exists.
Oh, yikes.
They're making it worse. And the fact that they put a celebrity in there, too, like, it feels a little bit like a backwards unethical PR ploy, where it's like, okay, we released a statement and said, like, the ethically right thing, but they also drew attention to it. They drew a lot, it's because this is so much publicity for them, and they're not going to be put in the wrong. It's not negative publicity for them that kids are eating Tide Pods. It's going to make the kids look stupid and YouTube looks stupid, but not Tide, because they're just making laundry detergents. And I feel like by issuing this, like, disclaimer or saying, like, don't eat them, they're bad for you, especially with the fact that they put in, like, a celebrity in the disclaimer, it made it worse.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a little different. I mean, I see what you're saying, like, professionalism, it doesn't always pay off. It's a little different, only because that's a separate entity, like, where a controversy started separately from that entity. And so, if anything, the proper thing to do from a PR perspective would have probably been to release, like, one of those Twitter note statements where it's like, we do not condone this, blah, 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 we will not be held responsible, please don't do that, that's it, the end. And then, like, not said anything else about it. But these people, these prank channels, like, they put on this, like, facade of, like, aren't I so cool for harassing people, or isn't this, you know, it's just a prank bro prank, like, and, you know, and then there's not a professionalism there, and they act like it's real, or they act like it's cool, and, like, there's no safety net of, like, ambulances available, and if there is, then they try to act like, oh no, I'm hard, I'm real, it wasn't staged, like, and that's where it's irresponsible.
Yeah, that's so true, because all these prank channels that are doing these stupid things, they're just, they're putting themselves and people in danger, and they're not having any kind of safety net.
Yeah.
That's very true. They don't have any kind of, like, what's it called?
Somatic.
Paramedics.
Yeah.
They don't have any kind of paramedics.
Yeah.
I think that there needs to be more legal action taken against these channels. I hope that's the next step, is that if you film yourself fucking stealing iPhones from people's hands, which this guy has done before, fun fact, even if you fucking return it, you should do jail time for that, because you can't just fucking take people's phones from their hands and run off like you're gonna steal it. I don't care. You can't do that. That's just not. You're assaulting people. You're stealing. That's what it is.
The level of anxiety that I would have if someone, like, just swiped my phone and ran off.
I would lose my shit. Because all my shit is on my phone, like my license, my credit cards and stuff, which is probably a terrible idea, but it's what I do. But, like, you don't take my phone, man. That is not all right to do. And then he has a video where he just pulls people's pants down as well, which probably staged.
I would hope
but
so.
But he claims that not. And that's absolutely assault. Not even a question. And I just hope, I don't know, I hope in the future people will start getting convicted for this type of thing. Because you can't just do that shit. You just can't. It's just not how the world works.
No. And then you have people who, you know, like the Daddy of Five situation. I'm looking at the notes, and I see that you did the Daddy of Five thing.
Yep.
Ooh, thankfully, there was legal action, but not after they had all of these subscribers and had made all of this money. And, like, you know, and even then, it was like pulling teeth. Had Philip DeFranco not had people constantly sending him videos that they were in real time downloading, Philip DeFranco probably wouldn't have had a case, and these people would have probably still making videos abusing their children. And it's just, what appalls me is that, one, the culture behind it that perpetuates it on YouTube, it's that sensationalism that I guess you can't really escape, because entertainment is entertainment, but, like, to hear that this guy's never been demonetized?
That's insane.
Like,
that struck me the hardest, too. He's never had a community strike for sure. That's true.
That's another insane thing.
I know! That is crazy. Any of those videos that I have talked about should have been a community strike, because they have bullying and harassment in the community guidelines that you can't do that kind of stuff, and that's what are you gonna call that, YouTube? What are you gonna call it?
Okay, they actually have a word for this. It's called malicious harassment. They allow harassment. They don't allow malicious harassment.
They allow harassment?
Okay, when you actually read their guidelines, when you are being harassed in the comments, they tell you just ignore them unless they cross over some guideline into malicious harassment. So you just have to put up with it and ignore, like, people come, like, this was like a whole, like, it was a panel at VidCon talking about, like, dealing with harassment and bullying on YouTube, and that was one of the things that they brought up was that, like, they're not going to get rid of all these people in the comments. Like, you are, like, getting dogpiled with all of this hate. You just have to bear it unless it's straight up, like, I will kill you. You just have to grin and bear
Okay,
it,
see, the thing about the word malicious is that all harassment is malicious.
Exactly, right?
Because that's the definition of the word.
Non-malicious harassment.
It's not a
what
thing.
What the heck is that?
That's just not how it goes.
That's the point of harassment. I've never heard of, like,
good intention harassment.
If you actually
helpful harassment, is that a new thing?
Yeah.
Like,
constructive criticism harassment. It's like, no, that's not a thing. That's not how this works. YouTube, no.
Yeah, you keep saying that word, YouTube. I don't think you know what it means.
No.
That's neat. That's a fun thing. I didn't hear about that.
Malicious harassment.
Awesome.
It's a thing in their guidelines that most, like, comments should be ignored if they're, like, mean and stuff, but they only care if it crosses the boundary into malicious harassment.
Well, comments, I mean, that's a whole nother problem.
Yeah, comments,
but you know, that's another
comments
problem.
Are completely different.
Like, the comment section is just, I don't know, that's like the pits of hell that I don't think are ever going to be redeemed.
Yep.
But
I mean, YouTube's trying with the comment section. I think, honestly, the only improvement I've ever seen on this platform has been with their management of the comment system.
It's getting better.
People are going to be dicks. I mean, at least we have permissions and abilities to mute, block, hide, heart, delete. I mean,
they've done like a lot of. That's a fair thing. Okay, I feel bad for YouTube because I know that they get a lot of crap and a lot of people are constantly complaining even when they try and actually do good things. And then when they do things like fix the comment section even a little bit, give us the access to, like, harding comments and deleting things and, like, blocking people. When they give us all these, like, awesome things, no one really thanks them, and it makes me feel bad, because it's like, I do want to acknowledge that YouTube is trying.
It's just because they took so long. They just are so slow with those types of things. Like, everything else had those features for forever.
This is
It's just, they took so long.
Especially given how fast the internet moves.
Yeah.
But
and I also, did you guys read Susan, the CEO? I can't pronounce her last name.
Yes.
Her letter about what's changing. Did you guys read
their top 5, what is it, the top 5 things that they're going to be working on?
Yeah.
I skimmed the end of it, but I read the first half of it. And I love that she put communication first, because honestly, that could be its own podcast, too. It's just the whole problem with YouTube and communication.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm already seeing, I mean, like, it's just been a day, but I'm already seeing improvements. Like, Team YouTube actually responded to me when I yelled at them on Twitter for the first time in, like, 10 attempts, so that's nice.
I heard they hired 10,000 new people already.
Yeah, I heard that.
I am thrilled.
That's so great.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Algorithms can only go so far. We need, like, a backup, like a safety net of real human eyes to be able to look at things.
To catch people like this fucking Arya guy. He's been around for 3 years.
That's the issue. It's like, I know the amount of people growing to a certain number is, like, getting more and more every year, and, like, that's a good thing, but it also makes it harder to manage, blah, blah, blah. I still feel like once a channel hits 100K, maybe even 500K, if that's even too hard, it needs to immediately be reviewed by a human.
Yeah.
Like, so if it hits 500,000 subscribers, it needs to be reviewed. I think, and then again at 1 million, and then again at 2 million, I think every time a channel hits a certain milestone, it needs to be looked at by human eyes and said, because yes, this is fine.
It's no longer just, like, individual videos that are questionable. It's entire channels. It's getting to the point where there are entire, like, harassment channels or, like, weird kid video channels that should be... The entire channel shouldn't exist.
Absolutely.
And they're slipping under the radar.
Yeah, so we kind of, like, went over Daddy of 5 real fast. I think we need to talk about that situation real fast, because that was the first prank channel that I've heard where there was actual legal consequence afterwards.
Yeah.
There was one right before it, too.
Do you want to talk about that real quick? Because I don't know if I know.
There was I can't remember what they had done, but there was 3 guys, and 2 of them were arrested, and they got jail time, and then the other one, I think, was just fined. I can't remember what prank it was, but they were they did have to face.
That's good to know. I like
so that was the first
that's going on recently. 2017 is when they were finally sentenced. So this has been happening for years. Daddy of 5 was making prank videos with his 5 children. And apparently there was, like, some weird marriage, like, he had kids with his girlfriend, and then he was married to another woman. And so they had 5 kids in total, but 3 of them were from the other marriage, or 2 of them were.
I want to say that
2 of them. The ones that got mistreated the worst, arguably, Emma, I believe was the girl's name, and the other boy, Cody. Cody.
Yeah.
They were the kids of the ex.
So bad for him.
I believe they were from his girlfriend. So they were just pranking their children over and over again, but in, like, pranking it was like parental abuse, like verbal.
Yeah, pranking is not a proper word.
Yeah, it was.
When you say I'm pranking my
terrifying.
kid, you think like, oh, they I ate your
candy.
Yeah,
I ate your candy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, that was funny.
Which is mean.
And even
but...
that, like. That one, it was funny and it was also sad.
It did make me feel a little sad.
Just like in my head, I'm like, oh, that might be a little bit too hard for. Like,
I hate when people lie to their children in general,
but at the same time,
it was a little funny.
Yeah, but the kids who responded like rationally, they were my it was just so awe-inspiring of just cute. These kids being like, oh, it's
the pranks I really like. The pranks I like the best are the ones where they give a fake present to them for Christmas, like they wrap something really insignificant.
Oh my god, like the avocado.
The avocado kid. That's exactly
the avocado guy.
I love the avocado kid.
The ramen noodles one?
Huh?
Have you seen the ramen noodles?
No, I don't think
There's
so.
like a little girl where she's like, she opens it and she's like, what is it? And they're like, it's a soup. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you.
I love
those.
Like,
my heart.
They're like, oh, are you happy? And
this is pure.
Like,
this is pure content that I signed up
that
for.
Is the pranking that I'm here to see. That's it.
Wholesome
pranking.
Daddy of
5, they were screaming and cussing and slapping.
Like,
yeah, they were slapping and
they had their kids hitting each other. They like screamed
and real blood occasionally. It was
real blood.
Horrifying.
Yeah,
like throwing their kids and like horrible stuff, like pushing them into the corners of desks and stuff.
To me, it was no question that it was abuse.
No.
Whether it wasn't a whole lot of physical abuse, mostly verbal, that still counts. Fun fact.
Yes, it does.
That is
also,
just as
what we're
awful.
seeing on camera. Sorry,
no,
what
you're
we're
good.
seeing on camera isn't everything that's happening.
Oh,
there's more. There's more behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Oh my god.
This is just what they feel is safe to be on the internet.
Yeah.
You gotta remember this. This is after passing their own filters. I'm sorry.
You're fine. you're totally right.
This is like they're taking all this footage and then filtering it through what they think is acceptable and then pushing that on. They're cutting out all the things that are even worse,
which is awful to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying to think
about. So, just like the classic prank channel response, they said it was all staged. They said their kids are fantastic actors, which is crazy because he was 9, Cody's 9. Like, fucking, I remember when I was 9, I was an idiot, and I did not act. I could not act for the life of me. If you asked me to act, I'd be like, yes, I am a child actor. Like, and that's like normal kids. I don't know. Anyways, I'd find it hard to believe that they had 5 child prodigy actors in their house. That is just not very believable to me. So, they ended up getting a bunch of people called Child Protective Services on them. And they ended up getting 5 years probation, and Cody and Emma are now in foster care, which, I
thought they were back with their mom.
No, they went to foster care. They had emergency...
Oh. I thought they sent them back to the mom, but then something else happened, and they ended up in foster care.
She had emergency custody of them for a while, and then they went to foster care. I don't know if it was just not a good situation with their mom either, but, it's a shitty situation overall, and you don't... Because... You'd wish you'd know, like, the best thing for the kids. Because that's what you want. Yeah. I don't know.
You just want them to have good lives.
Yeah. Just treat your kids like fucking humans. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that a lot.
Yeah.
There's just...
Well, I mean, then you have people, like, that just think it's okay to treat humans this way. So, I mean...
yeah.
See, that's why we're talking about this in the first place.
That makes me the saddest is, like, seeing all these things and worrying that this is just a reflection of overall society. That this is just the level of human development that we are currently at. Yikes. That the majority of humans can, not even the majority, but that there's still a solid chunk of humans who can just watch a video of someone being abused and think, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Just to lack that empathy.
Yeah. I had to, like, put mute on when I was listening to those Daddy of 5 videos because they were screaming at their kids at such a volume and intensity that I was kind of, like, getting flashbacks of like teachers yelling at me and stuff. And I was like,
literally about to use that same word.
I was like, oh my God, like it's horrifying.
I was literally going to use the word flashbacks because it's just like, it's, for lack of a better word, like kind of triggering.
Yeah, it is.
Like I hate that word because the
so
internet kind of ruined
it's
it.
True.
But like, yeah, it was just like, it hurt. Like it took me back to so many dark places. And it was just like, oh, I
know.
Kids.
You know that like
kids.
terror. Like I feel like everybody who's been yelled at like that has the same feeling of terror in their hearts when they hear somebody like at that intensity. Oof.
Even as adults, like that, when that shit stays with you, even as adults, like, and, you know, just dude bros can get intense sometimes when they're mad. Like, a real talk have had to be like, please don't scream so suddenly and loudly. I am getting flashbacks. Yep. Like, please stop.
You don't do that to people. Like, that's just not something that needs to be done. Oof. So the idea of just kids being treated like that, I think, is what called for legal action. And I'm glad that situation was taken care of like that.
And I can see YouTube making these moves to try to stop it, to try to fix it. Like, our community guidelines are getting stricter. And, you know, like, we're not putting up with this anymore. But then another prank channel that's never been demonetized pops up, and you're just like, what? Like, aren't you fixing this? Yeah. Like, aren't I suffering through your punishment for other people? Why is this person not getting affected?
Yep. It's true. Every time they, you want them to crack down, but every time they do, it ends up hurting thousands of people that never did shit.
And honestly, if it truly fixed it, I would accept it. I would be like, you know what? This is the price of a safe platform. Whatever. Like, I don't like it, but I'll deal with it. But then this stuff happens, and I'm like, so I'm just getting shit on for what reason?
Yep.
Exactly. Like, it was the same thing with the Logan Paul situation. Like, when, with my videos getting demonetized for having the word corpse in them. It's like, I was upset that my videos were, like, unjustly demonetized. But I could deal with it. But then, seeing Logan Paul put up a video of an actual corpse and have it get on trending, that just made me angry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like unfair rules being applied unfairly.
Yeah, that's my issue. I think that's most people's issues. It's like, if these are the rules, then these are the rules.
Yeah.
Like,
actually do that.
Whether that's YouTube. Yeah, whether that's YouTube or in, like, high school or, like, family culture, whatever. If these are the rules, then these are the rules, whatever. But when they're, like, cherry-picked for certain situations, depending on favorites in politics, that's when I start getting salty. That's when I start getting mad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
salt.
And so much of it, my dude.
Yeah, I understand.
Definitely agree.
It's even worse when you realize, like, Daddy of 5 still wasn't ever taken down by YouTube. He did that himself. So it still wasn't taken care of, even when there was legal action happening. Like, YouTube still didn't take responsibility for it. That's insane. Okay, Sam Pepper now. I think it's another great example.
Should we do a quick rundown?
Yeah, do a rundown.
Yes.
Do a rundown. There are people who still don't know.
Alrighty. Yeah. So he's another prank channel, not wholesome content. 2014, he did a ass grabbing video, is what I'm gonna call it. He had like his arm, he had like a fake arm in his sleeve, and then he had his real arm down by the bottom of his jacket, and he would ask girls for directions and then grab their ass when they're asking for directions, and then it looked like it wasn't him because he had one fake arm, if that makes any sense. So it was just like a, haha, you don't know who just grabbed your ass, but it was me! What a prank. Hilarious content, sir.
Yep.
So after everybody was like, this is assault, sir, did you know? This is exactly the definition of assault. He was like, it's staged, it was a social experiment, which is when that term, social experiment, became super...
Oh, God, it became a freaking
super
trend.
Overused. Yeah.
I feel like it's died down a little bit. But it was really prominent for, like, all of, like, late 2014, 2015, maybe going into, like, 2016. Social experiment pranks were, like, so ridiculous.
Just shut up.
And this was, like,
awful.
That caused all of the assault, like, people to come forward and say, like, actually, he sexually assaulted me. And that was, that's when he was blacklisted from the community. And I feel like we did that. Like, not us specifically, but, like, the YouTube community, especially the British YouTube community. They're the ones who were like, no, we're cutting you out. and that was essentially what killed his channel.
But also, wasn't there that I could be mistaken. I'm not super versed. I was still getting into the YouTubes then. But didn't he like pretend to kill his best friend or something?
I was just about to talk about
this was
that.
This was after he was blacklisted. After
this
everyone
is 2015
dying.
Oh
yeah, everyone cut him out of their social circles and all made videos essentially saying he's awful. And then all these people came forward saying that he sexually harassed them. And then this was when V1I and Alex Day and all the other YouTube sexual assault. It was kind of like our mini YouTube, the pre-Me Too
the pre-Me Too
movement of YouTube, where we kind of just started kicking out all of the sexual harassment.
Me Too should be every fucking day of every fucking year. Get them out of here. We don't need them. If you see that shit, call it out. Who are we? Like, if that fucking happens in front of me, like, I don't care about any, like, oh no, this person's not gonna like me anymore. Fucking call it out. Tell people. Say to everyone you meet, hello, did you know this person's a rapist? Like, every time.
Blacklist
I'm
this
not
person
messing
from
around.
the community. Do not ever speak to them.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
It needs to, we cannot let that shit be like a quiet secret. Just tell people. Tell everyone.
Secrets.
oh no.
See, okay, I feel like YouTube was the first one to do this. Like, now that I'm actually thinking about it, like, this was the first industry where we were like, we're gonna put everything, we're gonna be the most transparent industry ever and talk about, like, all the deep shit that is happening behind the scenes. And now it's just coming out, like, in the modeling industry and the acting industry and, like, all of these other industries. It's just now coming out. But we did this back in, like, 2014.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And dude, it's good. That's what YouTube was all about. It was all about being transparent and all about people being like, hey, we're not celebrities, we're normal people. And you know what normal people would do when they see this shit? They'd fucking tell everybody.
They'd call it out.
Yeah, they'd call it out. Because that's not okay. I don't care about any, like, bureaucracy or, like, diplomacy shit. Like, that's not what YouTube is about. And that's what it's becoming, and it's awful. But I'm thrilled.
That and also attention getting.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
When people use the Me Too movement to try to get money.
Awful.
And, like, not only getting money out of the person that did it or maybe didn't do it or whatever, it's like, I'm going to sit here and talk about it and cry with sad piano music, and then monetize the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it's like, like, maybe don't do that.
Don't do that. Oh my god. It's so frustrating because you're I mean, everybody said this. You're removing the legitimacy of the movement. Stop. Like, for the love of God,
much,
stop.
Like, God, it's difficult because there's actually a video that I wanted to make. I didn't hashtag Me Too when it happened because, like, I felt that insecurity of, like, I don't want to feel like I'm getting attention. I don't know if this counts. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I hate that. I was like, I hate that feeling of, does this count?
It counts.
And then you're like, the fact that I'm questioning
it.
And
then there was, like, a video that I have actually had planned. I think I told Echo, I told you about it before. I'll mention it here. It to me. There was a producer back when I was trying to do modeling and acting who I made friends with, and there wasn't any, like, he was a very devout Jewish man, and he made it very clear he did not want to have sex with me, but he was also, like, doing uncomfortable things, like dry humping my leg.
Eek.
And he gave me money and said, don't tell anybody, I'll make you a star if you just hang out with me and come to premieres with me. And I said no. Well, I said, actually, I'll think about it, because I was deathly afraid of an incident.
Yeah.
And then I excused myself.
Yeah. The thing that's happening. You have to, like, play the situation for your own safety.
And I was gonna, like, for the longest time, I just thought of it as, like, this crazy story that, like, maybe I'll make a video about one day, because it's, like, it's ridiculous, right? And then the Me Too movement happened, and I was like, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't make light of something like that. But does that count? Does that make it look like I'm getting attention? Like, it made me afraid to even talk about it. This is actually the first time I've even mentioned myself in the same breath of the Me Too movement, because I was like, I don't want to get shit on for trying to get attention.
I understand.
Because that's all YouTubers are known for doing.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's true. People in positions of power using that,
It's so irritating. It's so unreasonably, especially when they pretend that they're still equals because they don't really comprehend the power that they have.
Yeah.
Like, when they don't realize that they do have a lot of power over
like,
people.
had I been a different person, I mean, he wasn't really. I felt like I was getting off easy. I was like, you don't even want to sleep with me? Like I could have a sugar daddy without having to sleep with anybody, and I could actually, real talk, guys, I could have been a movie star. Like, this was the Prince guy. This is the guy who introduced me to the Prince of a country. Like, I won't say it.
That's so cool.
This is the guy who almost introduced me to Adam Sandler.
Oh.
So, like, I could have. And I looked at it and I was tempted, but I was like, this is wrong. I feel wrong. I feel dirty. I can't do it. But a lot of people are asked for more and they do it anyway because of the pressure. There's such a pressure that you're not going to make it if you don't do that. And thankfully, I wasn't desperate enough to do it. Not that those girls are desperate or less, but I couldn't do it.
They're put in situations. They just
You're put in these situations. I was in this guy's penthouse in Manhattan alone. Like, when this happened. And I, thank God, was able to get out without incident. But, you know, you're afraid. You know what I mean? And it's just like, after that, it's like, if I say anything, if I tell anybody, I could never work in this town again. You know, like one of those kind of a things. And also, it's like, it wasn't even that bad. He wasn't even trying to sleep with me. Like, anyway, that's beyond the point. That's another conversation.
You try to justify it in your brain because you don't want to think ill of other people. You don't want to think like there's no way that someone could like sink that low or something. But
and then you hear other stories like of the Harvey Weinsteins of like people. This is, I mean, we've already decided that this podcast is unrated, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have stories of like Harvey Weinstein being like, jerk me off, and like, you know, like all of these really intense moments, and like, and so I feel like my thing doesn't count.
No,
and then
dude,
also, like, I'm afraid I don't want to get attention.
Totally counts.
And so, and then you have, but then like in perspective of what we're talking about with like the prank channels, you have these people doing atrocious things to get attention, and you just have this fear that you're just going to get lumped in with these people who are just trying to make money and just trying to get attention and just trying to like sensationalize. And as much as I do storytelling on my channel, but I don't do it all the time because I only have a limited amount of stories that happen to me, even though they're all very interesting. I also don't want to be forced to make up stories because everything that I tell is true, believe it or not. Like, and I want to keep that there. Like, I don't ever want to over sensationalize. So, but there are people who do that. So, like, not just another YouTuber trying to get blah 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 blah, because our, I guess, what's the word? Reputation. Like, the word YouTuber automatically already means like, oh, you're just a view hoarding little like attention person. Like, that's all you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been Crystal's Insecurities 101.
I liked that. That was good. Dude.
Well, with Sam Pepper, there was to go back to the, like, what he did after that. So he got blacklisted. Everyone hated him. His channel started dying. So he had to up the ante, and that's where the whole killing my best friend prank thing came in.
This was awful.
Do you want to explain what happened with that?
This was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my whole life. He, in case you haven't somehow heard of this, he faked kidnapped one of his friends with one of his other friends, fake shot and killed that kid in front of the guy he kidnapped, if that makes any sense. Did I say that's super confusing? It was awful.
No, it makes sense.
He pretended to kill a kid in front of his best friend to watch.
I just want to make it clear, though, that he, like, fake kidnapped him. He made it, like, a visceral experience for this child. Mind you. This kid was young.
He was like
it was awful.
He was very clearly like
so distressed. He was like rocking back and forth and bawling. It was not fun to watch.
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. Absolutely.
It was.
So that was awful. One of the worst things I've ever seen. Everybody was trying to get him kicked off of YouTube. I signed a petition personally. A bunch of people did. And I don't know if those petitions do anything, but I was like, fingers crossed. Let's do anything we can. And both of those videos, his ass grabbing video and that video, was removed from his channel, but he is still around. I looked him up. What? And this October, he made a new video.
Is he still blacked out?
Is he what?
Is he still blacked out? Because there was a point where he just said, I give up, and he deleted, like, almost everything and changed his profile pictures to just a black
I remember
picture.
that. Yeah, he's back. He's all the way back. And making new videos.
Oh my God. He needs to fucking give up.
He needs to that like a villain.
Be done.
He's back.
Dear Sam Pepper, give up. Go away. Yeah. No one wants you here.
Nobody. You're not welcome here. We don't enjoy you.
I'm gonna throw that out there. Direct message to Sam Pepper. Just go the fuck away.
No more. You're done.
And also, just in general, just to make it so we don't sound super, super like, we hate everybody. We think everybody deserves an opportunity to redeem themselves, but we also think there is a limit in which you should redeem yourself outside of the platform that you've defaced.
Dude, I think we are more than fair to these people.
Yeah.
We have people that we have said over and over we love, and clearly Philip DeFranco is one of those people because we mentioned his name like 12,000 times.
But we also, we don't always love Philip DeFranco. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah,
I've angrily unsubscribed like, from Philip DeFranco like 4 times. But I always resubscribe.
Same. Me too. Same. I've done that with Twitter way more too. I've like, ugh, he said something that made me upset, unfollow. And then like a week later, I'm like, no, I miss him. I miss him.
It's like always covering this thing. I want to see what he has to say about this event because he's very good at clarity. And,
exactly.
Like, he's so even.
So we're not
from other sides.
Exactly. Like so we get mad at people. We might be like, but there is always room for somebody to like become a better person and grow and change and like there's hope and all of this stuff. But in terms of certain things, there's just something that maybe you should just leave alone. You know what I mean? Like, if Sam Pepper, unless he comes out and says, like, I am sorry, I'm a horrible garbage person for doing the things that I did, and all of the content I do will now be about kittens and puppies and helping the world. I would be like, okay. Make even videos, then, my dude.
I don't know if I'd be willing to give him his power back, because he had power over, like,
that's
young
different.
Girls and
it's like, do I get mad that he's there, or do I go, okay, you're here. Well, at least you're not hurting people.
Yeah. But...
I don't remember how many subscribers he has now, but this recent video got over 300,000 views.
Oh my goodness.
Which one?
His newest video.
The video that he just made?
Yes. It wasn't like just, it was like October or something, but that's pretty recent still.
Was it like a prank?
It was. It was tricking people into selling a 15-year-old alcohol. So it was his...
What?
Yes. It was his younger brother, who was 15. He had him put on a hyper-realistic mask, and he had him go into liquor stores and buy alcohol. I was like, do you not see what you're doing? Like, can you not see that this is in poor taste, sir? Like, what are you doing?
Is this in the UK, then?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't even know.
Because if it's in the UK, I think the legal drinking age is 16, isn't it?
Well, he's 15, so he had him put on a hyper-realistic mask of like an old man. He's still got, okay, look, I looked up his channel. He's still got 2 million subscribers. Listen,
oh my God.
This kid is still around, and I mean, he's not like super relevant, but more relevant than you would hope. All right, so that's like...
He's like... infamous on the platform.
He's awful.
Sam Pepper is just a name that has become...
Get him out of here.
Like, very synonymous with, like, abuse of power and rape on YouTube and all kinds of horrible things.
Yeah.
And, like, being a terrible prank channel.
We're salty about
just
Pepper.
A terrible human being.
We're always going to be salty about
Pepper.
Yes.
That's great. Very good.
All right, so we're winding down. Let's talk about what should be done. What do you guys think should be done to prank channels? What's the answer?
Well... I think that YouTube needs to work in their algorithm to stop working towards like the sensationalizing stuff, because it's like if someone does something like post a video of a dead body and then all these people make all of these response videos about like how terrible it is to make a video or like, you know, people talking about it, the whole thing like just raises to the top.
Yeah.
Although I also don't feel like the answer is more algorithms.
Stop it with the algorithms.
No, I really
They're not
don't.
working.
I feel like, honestly, like, keep those guidelines as they are. I think the community guidelines YouTube has in place, when in effect properly, right, are very effective. And I think, if anything, we already have the small YouTubers, as we talked about before. You know, there's now a new level of entry. That's helpful. But I also think that there needs to be human eyes on someone, because sometimes it's not just a video. YouTube right now is focusing on just videos. They need to be focusing on humans and channels. And I like the idea of having a human checks on somebody after 100K or 500K subscribers.
I like that too.
And then also,
just
I think
like
at
check-ins.
that point, if you pass their little test or whatever, maybe even signing a legally binding contract of, like, if you want to, we will whitelist you. That doesn't mean that we can't demonetize you, but you will not be Google preferred, but you're not going to get as likely to be hit with demonetization, blah, blah, blah. If you break this, you will have legally binding consequences. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And very clear, like, blah, blah, blah. So then you have people who don't need human eyes every 5 seconds. They've already been approved. They're legally binded to not put a dead body in their friggin', you know what I mean? To not do that. Jeez. And then it's kind of self-regulating after that point. And it's also a lot less work. but I don't know how likely YouTube is to do that.
I don't know. I definitely think the answer is more human eyes on these. I mean, these are pretty large channels. They're not baby channels. This type of stuff should not be so prevalent.
Yeah, like how does someone with over 500,000 subscribers just sneak under the radar with
There's
this
no
kind of
way
content?
he's sneaking anywhere.
No way.
He's not a sneaky boy. He's not a sneaky boy. They knew and they didn't.
He's just
care.
falling. He's stumbling under the radar.
He's stumbling. He's
just like haphazardly rolling under the radar, and YouTube's like, I didn't see anything.
Pretty much. So I feel like if YouTube's argument as a company is like, there is over this many 100 hours of video uploaded every minute, we can't possibly look at it all. Okay, great. So you've made it so small YouTubers have a harder barrier of entry. Great. Now let's make it so bigger YouTubers have a higher bar of entry. How about them? How about that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I agree. I love the idea of them having to check like every 250,000. Just,
or maybe even if
just
that's
to
too
look at the
unrealistic, just every
look.
500,000, just every, maybe even once a year. Like, you know what I mean? It's your annual review.
Yeah.
Like,
you can usually,
that would make a lot more sense.
You can usually even tell by like the thumbnails and the titles. Like, you do not need to dig through these channels that far. It is so obvious that they are not okay right away. Their titles have things like keywords like bomb. You should know that that's not okay right away. That should be clear.
Yeah, like if it says bomb prank in the title, it's probably breaking community guidelines.
Oh yeah,
it's probably.
Oh, yeah.
Just maybe.
All right, do we want to say happy things? Let's say happy things before we leave. Because I'm all wound up now.
What is YouTube... Okay, what is YouTube doing right? Because this is a thing that I feel like a lot of people misjudge, and like whenever YouTube does do things to improve the platform, people just kind of go like, well, that's what it should have been. But it's like, I do want to like thank YouTube for trying, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it is hard. What they're doing is hard. What they're trying to do is not easy. I will give YouTube that credit. This is a whole new ball game that they're inventing as they go along. They're trying to figure it out.
Well,
so I don't want to be too angry at YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and have faith in the platform and, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it clear. I've sold my soul to Google at this point. Like, I'm in their boat unless something really drastic happens, I'm in their boat. This is the boat I've chosen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube is... Like, YouTube's my life. Like, I have the friends I have the life I have, like, I am who I am because of the culture and the people and the environment on this website, and YouTube is kind of, like, building as they go, you know what I mean, and it's hard, and they are trying, and so I do appreciate it. I just want to, I guess, instead of being, like, angry and just, like, burn it down with fire. I guess I just want to hold them. I want to hold them to a higher standard because we as people are better than that. You know what I mean?
We are. They can do better than this.
Yes. They are a group. They're a company of people. They're not just a machine that spits out judgment upon people, even though that's what they're trying to make it. They are a company with people who wake up at 8 in the morning and go in at 9 and leave at 5. Like, these are people, they make decisions, and to those people, I appreciate what you do, and I just hold you to a high standard, because what you're doing is important work. It's changing the very fabric of our culture as a generation. So I both appreciate and hope the best.
Yeah, I appreciate the workers at Google for sure, and YouTube and stuff. They do it, I mean, overall, it's all right on YouTube. It's not awful all the time.
All the time.
And I really do. I have high hopes for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also the community. The community is fantastic.
Oh, the fans?
I feel like,
oh, heck yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, not even just the fans, but like the YouTube community itself. We do a pretty good job, not the best job ever, but a pretty good job of self-regulating. Like, when we find out that someone's like sexually abusing their fans, we cut them out of our group. Like, no one talks to them anymore, and like word spreads in the community.
Well, we all are humans, like, the world is made up upon humans, and humans are flawed, and humans fuck up, and some humans go to really dark places and do horrible things, but there is an equal, if not greater, amount of humans that are in good places and are constantly striving to be better and make the world a better place. So even outside of YouTube, we should all do our best to be the very best version of ourselves and let that impact our circle of influence. For the people who work at YouTube, it is them impacting the circle of influence of a website that affects the lives of many people. For us, it is our videos that affect the lives of our viewers, and for your viewers, it is the way you treat each other in comments. It's the way you consume your content. It's the way you behave around school and around your family and around people that you don't necessarily like. So if you want to see better changes, you need to be a better person, and I think we can do that. It's not unrealistic.
Aw, I like that. That was good.
I like that a lot. Lead by example. I like
well
that.
put. Well put. All right.
I feel salt cleansed, guys. Do you?
I feel cleansed
I also
now.
feel very cleansed.
I feel good. I feel like we've gotten a nice salt cleanse all over our bodies. All right. Does somebody want to say our platforms?
You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube at Release the Salt. And our Twitter handles, guys?
Happy Panda Party.
Echo is weird.
And The Crystal Joy.
And remember, friends, the human body cannot survive without salt. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Yay, yay, yay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.